Annalise from Dance Star Academy of Performing Arts. Congrats on getting your Pointe shoes. Today we're going to go over how to sew them correctly. So you want to make sure you use your stitch kit that you got at the store, okay? Make sure you use the specific thread and needle in there, okay? Other threads will disintegrate as you sweat and your ribbons will break off, so make sure you use this type. I like to take a long amount, make sure you double it because you have to put it through the needle. So about that much, so here's where I'm going to cut it. Right there. And then I have my needle. And there's always an eye in the needle. The eye is the hole at the non-pointy end. Do not poke yourself. It hurts. So you're going to take the thread, put it through to about halfway. It doesn't have to be specific though. And then you're going to take the end at the top. I always like to tie a triple knot because I find that it stays put better and I trust it more. So tie a triple knot. Oh, there we go. It's a little stubborn sometimes. There's my double and one more to make it a triple. Perfect. So you're going to take the needle and make sure you pull it all the way through so you see it's double. It's like that, okay? I always like to start with my ribbons because I find that since the elastics go in between, it's always best to start with the ribbons. So you're going to take your shoe, you find your seam right here. See the seam? Now, it's very important to make sure the shiny part's on the outside. If you sew it accidentally opposite, it's not a big deal, it just always looks nicer. So make sure the satin, silky smooth part is on the outside. Also, make sure you burned the edges of the ribbon or put some clear nail polish so they don't fray. They should be a little hard at the ends. Okay, so you're going to take it, and I always fold it about that much there. And then I take it and I find the inside and I line up the top of this fold with the seam on the top. Right there. And sewing the ribbons are the easiest part because they're a lot thinner than the elastic. So I'm going to take my needle, pull all the way through. Now this thread gets sticky, so if you get a whole bunch at the end there, it's okay. Just pull it out and go through it again slowly. You're going to go in and out through opposite sides. Right there. In and out till you get a nice square. So see, this is what I was talking about because it's sticky. It tends to do that, so you just want to pull it out and pull it back in. You shouldn't really have any problems with that. I like to hold it in place as I'm sewing so I know exactly where I'm going. In, and see, it does get sticky, so you got to make sure. A good way to prevent that is putting your finger at the edge when you're pulling it through so it doesn't get caught on itself, just like that. Do you see? From here, we're going to sew all the way around. Make sure you don't get too close to the edges because it will tear and fray. So I like to stay about right here in the edges, so like a millimeter or two, and I'm going to sew around in the box formation, and you just go in, out, in, out. And this will take me about 5 minutes. Of course, it's normal to take much longer your first time. Alright, this is the last one. I'm going in for the last time. Do you see how I've made a box around? And I'm going to pull my needle all the way through. And then you can go around and tie it like this, but I find that's very complicated. So I like to take it and I cut it and I give it about 1.5 inches left of space. I put the needle to the side. Make sure you don't lose the needle because that'll hurt to step on. And then I just tie a triple knot again. So I go in, and then I just tie my triple knot. 1, come here, 2, 3. Okay, so we have our 4 remaining threads from our 2 different knots. And you don't want those to be hanging out, so I like to pull them all together. And you don't want to cut it too close, so I give it a few millimeters and I just cut it all off like that. And then discard the rest of those threads. And now the shiny part's on the outside. If you yank it, it'll stay. And it's in a good box-shaped formation and it shouldn't irritate your foot. So this is what the finished product should look like. You should have your elastic in front of that seam right there sewed on the inside. Then your ribbon right here sewed. And then your elastic, you can scoop as far back as you feel you need to, okay? So your shoe should end up looking like this. Please do not try to force break it in yourself. We will help you do that in class. And make sure that you do it and not your moms. Your moms can help you, but you do it by yourself. All right, bye guys. See you next time.